Chapter 1. The Mother of All Virtues. No legacy is so rich as honesty. William Shakespeare. Honesty is the best policy. Cervantes. It is better to suffer for truth than to prosper by falsehood. Danish proverb. He that loses honesty has nothing else to lose. John Lilly. It is funny how everybody considers honesty a virtue, yet no one wants to hear the truth. Anonymous. The mother of all virtues. Many centuries ago, there lived in Europe a widow who had only one son named John. John loved his mother and was so fond of her, he would do whatever his mother commanded him to do. John never knew his father, who had died while John was yet in the womb. He, however, stumbled on a photo album containing some of his father's photographs, which he considered a great treasure. Although John remained the only hope of his mother, she never pampered him more than necessary. She taught him how to sweep, wash plates, and do other domestic chores. John's mother never allowed him to oversleep, and that really helped him when he started his elementary school. John soon grew up into an adult. He couldn't remain tied to his mother's apron string. He had come of age and would have to go to the city and struggle to make something out of his life. It was very painful for mother and son to part. However, parting was the better alternative available to them. They ate dinner together for the last time as John was bid to travel early the following morning. Although it was such a delicious meal, the meal tasted bland to John, who kept ruminating on what separation from his mother would be like. Meal was over. John's mother went into the room and brought out a woolen bag which contained 50 pieces of coins. She had labored all her life to save that money for her only child in the hope that with the money, John would be one day transformed into a worthy citizen of their country. John's mother said to him, "Open your ears and mind, my son, and listen to words of reason and wisdom. When you get to the city, start a living with this money. You will have to work hard, harder than your friends, so that within the shortest time, you can make yourself one of the noble citizens of our dear country. Remember that honesty is above all virtues. A dishonest man is the enemy of the society, and richly deserves its condemnation," continued his mother. She made John promise her that he would always be honest in all his dealings. For some minutes, they both sobbed while they held on tightly to each other. Then she prayed for her son. Thereafter, John carried his small wooden box where he tucked away the woolen bag containing the 50 pieces of coins. He was determined to succeed by all means through hard work and keeping the right company. The morning had hardly broken when John got up from bed. Different thoughts ran through his mind during the night on where and how to begin. He will need to plan his strategies well to ensure he remains on the right track. When his mother's teary face flashed across his mind, he felt a tug at his heart and was determined more strongly that he would make her proud and that nothing would stop him from becoming what he hoped to become. After he had showered and gotten something to eat, John quickly dashed off to the riverside where there were other passengers waiting for the ship to be filled up so that sailing could commence. The city was located at the other side of the river. All the passengers paid the fare and were issued tickets for the journey. They numbered about 70 that traveled on board the ship. As the ship set off, the passengers beamed with enthusiasm as they hoped to arrive at their destination in a couple of hours. Little did they know that the journey would be eventful. The ship was yet to sail deep into the waters when a gang of armed robbers bombarded it and beckoned on all the passengers to submit all their valuables. "How much do you have in your bag?" The leader of the gang barked at each of the passengers, one after the other. Each passenger lied about how much they had. When it came to John's turn, he told them the truth and nothing but the truth. He said, "Inside my wooden box is a woolen bag in which there are 50 pieces of coins handed over to me by my mother. My mother is a widow, and in her kindness, she saved the coins for me so that I can make a fortune with them." At the order of the leader of the gang, one of the robbers stepped forward and checked to confirm whether or not John spoke the truth. The robbers and everyone in the ship were shocked. John had spoken the whole truth. Only 50 pieces of coins were in the woolen bag. After about an hour of operations on the ship, the leader of the gang spoke softly. "Come here, young man," he beckoned on John. "Tell me, how is it that you didn't tell a lie concerning what you had in the bag, even when all the other passengers lied?" John answered and said, "Sirs, I couldn't tell a lie because I had promised my poor mother that I will always be honest, speak the truth, and nothing but the truth always. By telling the truth, I have demonstrated my love and loyalty to my dear mother by making good my promise to her." The last words that dropped from John's lips was the last straw that broke the camel's back. It completely broke the robbers who had by now become sober. There was a deafening silence until the leader of the gang spoke up. John spoke the truth because he had promised his mother not to do otherwise. He didn't give himself any excuse to tell a lie when he could have done so, hoping that such will save his life. If John could be so responsible as to keep his promise, what excuse do you and I have to break the sacred laws of our Maker by making armed robbery our profession? The leader took a deep breath and then announced, "Return to every man whatever you've collected from him. May the Almighty forgive our past. Henceforth, none of us shall steal again. We shall labor with our hands." As the ship touched the harbor, all the passengers and the captain of the ship congratulated John, giving him different gifts for his honesty and loyalty to his mother. One of them requested that John should follow him to his mansion. He gave John a warm embrace and promised him that he would provide him with accommodation and a good job in which John will earn a fat income. John was greatly delighted with himself for speaking the truth when it mattered the most. He was grateful to his mother who had taught him such a great virtue even at a very tender age. He promised himself that honesty will always be his watchword. "I will always be honest, because honesty is the mother of all virtues." Exercise. Number 1. What are the important lessons learned from this story? Number 2. Look up meanings of the following words in your dictionary. Pamper, chores, enthusiasm, harbor, beamed, beckoned, fortune, mansion, virtue, watchword. 3. Find the words that are nearest in meaning, in bracket, synonyms to the words listed in 2 above. Number 4. What is the meaning of the statement, attached to his mother's apron string? Number 5. How can the virtue of honesty be encouraged among young people? Number 6. Summarize the story above in not more than 1 page.